Well guys, this is it. We're back out for another 4-day, 3-night living off the land challenge. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to be sporting a plethora of new gear for this trip. So we took a recent poll to see what it is you, the viewer, want to see, and this is it. This is what you voted for. Living off the land, showcasing new equipment, and demonstrating some skills while we're out. I hope you guys really enjoy this one. We're putting a lot of effort into it. Let's get started. Alright, so there's a few things that we got to take care of and take care of right away. It's warm, it's summertime, shelter's not a huge issue, and even if it was, I've got my hammock here with me and my AquaQuest Safari tarp. So I mean, we're covered. As far as shelter is concerned, we're good. It takes minutes to set that up, no time at all. Even if I'm out here for 4 days, let's be realistic, I'm not going to starve, even if I get nothing. However, we're going to try to treat it more like it's a prolonged sort of camp where we're going to put a solid effort into getting food. Nobody likes to go hungry, right? But still, that's lower on the priority list. First thing I need is water. Water is amongst our top priorities here when we're talking about this particular survival camp. For that, we have a couple implements that we can utilize to take care of these needs. One of them is the Grail water filter. Probably the best water purifier on the market today. I absolutely love this. Top-notch product, works very, very well. And it's simple to use. You pull this out, filters on the end, fill it up to this water line here, and just use your body weight to push down on it, and that one's good to go. Now that we've got it fully depressed in there, this is good to drink. And it's cold. Now that we got it full, you just turn the top a couple of times like that. I'm going to let a little bit of air out of this. Maybe a bit of water. I might have a tiny bit too much in there. Once, twice, 3 times. Now all you do is flip that up, much like a dry bag, right? Flip it up. That's it. That's your water ready to go. Hook my strap up to it. We're off to the races. Now that water's dealt with, let's take a look at setting up our shelter for the night. U.S. Henry survival rifle, let's move that out of the way. As always, summer, winter, I don't care. A wool blanket. Now down here in the bottom of the pack, this is where we get to the meat and the potatoes of setting up our camp. Really love this bag and this setup. Is that down here on the bottom, I can basically keep all my shelter and sleeping equipment without having to rummage through all my cooking stuff and all the rest of the stuff that's in the main parcels of the pack. So this to me is an added bonus, super cool. So hammock. This is a jungle style hammock with the bug net. It's a must for here in Canada. Love this setup. And it's cheap. Everything I have is cheap. Cheap is good. Like every other wholehearted good glamper, everybody needs a pillow. Love a pillow. And last, my AquaQuest Safari tarp, which I have in this dry bag. Let's get to setting up. Well, Izzy has got herself quite a find over here. She's been here for all of 3 minutes. And check out what she's got. Good girl. She dug out a nice deer head. Yeah, she dug out a nice deer head. 5 by 5, a nice little 5 by 5. Good job. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. We got a lot of heavy winds today. It's the best I can get the tarp strung up, all things considered. There's just a heavy amount of wind pushing on the back of it, but I'm confident it'll hold. It's a little loose right now as I can't get it tight with all the wind, but it'll work. Again, I have my tent and glow-in-the-dark sleeping bag. Alright, that's great. We've got 2 out of the 3 big primary things out of the way, and that is shelter, done, water, done. Now let's move on to hunting, maybe procuring us some game, getting a meal going for tonight. It's important to note with these, it's a water purifier, it's not a water filter. So basically, you can take water for darn near anywhere and this sucker's going to clean it up for you to drink. The other really cool thing about these, I know there's other ways to do it, probably better ways, but let's be honest, it's nice sometimes just to get some cold water right away, and that's where these really come in handy. And it's portable, you can take it with you. It purifies it. I've got the life straw that goes inside the container, and it's a filter, right? So it doesn't take out the heavy metals and leads and stuff like that, whereas a water purifier will. So it only takes about 15-20 seconds to purify that water too. It's not like tablets that you gotta wait 20 minutes, half an hour, the UV filter purification stuff where you gotta sit there and wait for that. This kills bacteria, viruses, protozoa, very good stuff. Like, I mean, this is top notch here, and it removes 99.9999%. Very good product. We absolutely love this. Like, this is one of my favorite products that I've purchased recently, and definitely is one that I wanted to bring to this camp and show you guys. You'll see me using this a lot. Great bit of kit. I honestly suggest that anybody who is looking for some form of water purification or filtration to just skip the filtration, go right to the purification, get yourself one of these. You will not regret it. They're relatively cheap. I think 89 bucks or something like that. Worth their weight. Good product. Again, we have the Mama Bear by Bare Minimum. Awesome container. Really like these. The setup is super simple. Grab it, fold your sides up, bring your corners around, put them through, snap your button into place. Same thing on the other side, bring it up, put the snap through, snap it shut. Use this thing all the time. So this is the Flow and Go water filter. You can see it's just gravity feeding down through the Sawyer Mini here. And this is filtering the water. It's not purifying it, it's filtering it. When you've reached your desired fill, close her up. Good stuff. Remember, when you got your friends out with you, they get thirsty too. I apologize for the wind, guys. I already know it's bad. It's probably absolutely destroying the audio on this video. I can't change the weather. I let my other camera go with my son for a trip that he's going on. So unfortunately, I don't really have an option. That camera had my good wind mic on it. But anyways, brought out the US Henry Survival Rifle again. Good for small game. We're going to utilize this. Go out for a hunt. We got to get some food. It's already getting late in the day. Gotta get something to eat. So everything fits in the buttstock. Pull it out, snap it back closed. Take your receiver, slide it in. There's a little bolt here, tighten that up. Take your barrel, it's got a sliding lock ring on here. Pop it down, spin your ring tight. We're good to go. Alright, so to bring lazy to a whole new level, what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to film this adventure with a couple of GoPros, one on the rifle itself and the other one I'll be wearing on my head. It's just too much for me to be bringing the big camera, bringing my rifle, and bringing Izzy and dealing with her leashes and all that stuff all at the same time. It just does not yield good results. So I mean, and it's going to be tough because Izzy's going to want the squirrel as soon as she can get it. So I mean, that's something I got to keep in mind too. I know that I've got some good hunting shots before in the past, but unfortunately every trip sometimes it doesn't work out. So anyways, that's what we're going to be doing. That's how we're going to attempt to film this one. If it doesn't work, I'll have to figure something out that gets us a little bit better footage and whatnot for the next time we go out. I've also already set up a couple snares. I'm going to go set up a couple more while we're out traps are a great way to procure food, and we got to be looking at this for a multi-day adventure, so we want to get some food. I assume the mosquitoes are going to be horrible. I haven't lit a fire yet, so we're going to have to grin and bear it. If it gets too bad, we'll just come back, light a fire, smoke up, and head back out. It's really too bad these babies are far past their prime. Happens. But we've noticed here though, excellent spot to set a couple snares here, so I'm going to take the time and do that now. So this is pretty simple. Just pull off a chunk of wire. Always carry with me my snap-on multi-tool. Just cut that off. But what you want to do is just bend this over like this. Make yourself a little loop. Wind it around a bunch of times. Now you want to leave this little spike on there. That helps them get, kind of helps dig into them when they go through the loop, and it'll hold them fast. So now basically all you need to do, take your loop, pass the other end through. Your loop of course is going to be according to the size of game that you're trying to catch. Generally speaking, when you go for pole snares, you make multi-looped, but we're not going to do that today. I'm not going to make a whole plethora. I'm just going to set snares here and there, and I'm going to make them about that big. Big enough for their head to pass through, not their body. Now, this is important. You want to weave these back and forth like this to give them enough rope to hang themselves, as it were. So basically that's what you're looking for. Take it, loop it around what you want. You don't want this to be super tight because you want it to be able to rotate underneath the tree after the squirrel gets snared in it. That way it will just allow them to hang underneath rather than try to keep pulling up on top. That's all that we're looking for. I'm going to make a bunch of those. We'll get back to you guys when we actually start moving around again. Well, here we go. We got a couple snares here. You can see one down in the bottom here. That's a snare there. A little bit further up, we've got another one there. So there and there. And you'll notice how we kind of put them at a funnel point too. So these branches are effectively blocking the squirrel from going around. Same with up there. So he's going to want to take that path of least resistance. Increases the probability of getting something in it. Same with this guy over here. You can see the same thing. He's got a stick there, stick there. The squirrel's going to want to go through the middle. So there's 3 snares we got there. We've got another one over here. Same setup. You see there's a stick on each side. He's going to want to go through that path of least resistance through our snare, and hopefully all this effort is going to yield us some results. So right now as it stands, we've got 6 snares set. I would like to set at least 2 more, because the general rule is if you want a 50% probability of eating through trapping in a day, you'll want to have 8 snares per person. Right now, like I said, we're at 6. We got to get some more up. Keep in mind though, we're not just solely relying on trapping, we're trying to be proactive. We'll come back and check these frequently so we can get any game they yield before the predators do. If you're going to live off the land, you might as well do it in comfort. So you guys can see, you shored up the fire pit a little bit here. I was just too concerned about the mix of dry grass and stuff that you can see kind of mixed on the outskirts there. I didn't want to run the risk of that fire getting out of there. So essentially we just took the time, dug a trench around using the cold steel shovel. I know I got lazy again and I didn't film it, but I wanted to make extra sure that even when I douse this a bit before I go, that fire wasn't going to go anywhere in the meantime. But I really needed to get the smoke on me to keep the mosquitoes away. They're driving me absolutely crazy. But we really got to get some supper for tonight. The idea is we should have had at least 2 squirrels, one to eat straight for tonight, the other one to put on. In a pot of water in a survival situation, you want to try to boil everything as you get more out of it. It goes a lot farther to make kind of a soup sort of deal out of it. But yeah, it hasn't been going as planned so far. It's a big challenge having Izzy. We should have had one already, but it just wasn't in the cards for us. This is the first time I've attempted this camp with her on a leash. I can't let her go here because as soon as I let her go, she buggers off and she's gone trying to get somebody's cattle or sheep or something. So unfortunately she's got to be leash bound for this particular location. But yeah, it is what it is. We just got to find a way to work through it and you know, get something out of it. Got plenty of water though, so that's a plus. We got a little squirrel for tonight, so we know we'll be all right for tonight. I'm still gonna try to slip away for one more good hunt here. I would like to have 2 or 3 tonight, just money in the bank, so to speak. Throw them in a pot, throw them on over the fire to just sit there and keep boiling away. Make a soup kind of a deal, and you know, if I got 2 more that and made a soup, that would last me easy for the remainder of the trip, although we would still push hard to try to accumulate more and live off the land. So we have this little guy. I apologize, I'm not going to show him being processed this time. YouTube frowns on that stuff, so I'm really sorry, but you know, I've already tested the waters and it didn't go so hot. But yeah, so we got something for tonight. We're going to try to save everything. I'll show you what we do save when everything's all done, skinned out and done properly. Good stuff. All our needs are taken care of. So right off the hop, we took care of water. That's fantastic. You can see it on the tree hanging behind me there. The Go Flow with the Sawyer Mini water filter on there, as well as the Grail water purifier is what we're using for this trip. 2 new products, tested out for the first time this trip. So far, love them both. Absolutely fantastic. They fit this camp to an absolute T. 10 liters of water is a lot of water to be able to bring with you and string up in your camp. That's just crazy. I'm absolutely floored with that. I'm very happy. That doesn't keep me river bound. That gives me a little bit more flexibility in how far away I can go from the camp. Plus, it makes me a whole lot lighter when I go in and out. So water's taken care of. Awesome, top notch. Shelter's good to go. Got the hammock strung up, jungle net on it to keep these horrid mosquitoes out of the way. AquaQuest Safari tarp strung up over top, giving us plenty of area underneath to keep all our gear and our goodies dry. For our food, got ourselves some red squirrel. Got ourselves a whole little mittful here of these woodland puffballs. Again, be very careful when you're dabbling with mushrooms. There's a reason I go for easy to identify ones, and ones that are tougher to identify. I bring my book. I'm not ashamed to admit it or anything like that. 100% positive ID is an absolute must when you're out here. It's not worth the risk. If you do not know without a doubt don't even try it. Mushrooms can make you very, very sick. But at the same time, they're very, very good to add with my squirrel here. So our needs are taken care of. We've got fire going. Fire I don't really consider a necessity for this trip. But I guess in some ways it is, as it provides smoke so that I can keep these damn mosquitoes at bay. But stay tuned, lots more to come. Hope you guys are enjoying it. So I just went and chopped down this little aspen. The idea that I want for this one is that I want to get this squirrel up on the smoke right away. That'll keep all the parasites and that kind of stuff away. It keeps the bacteria from growing, keeps the flies from landing on it. So basically, it's one of the best methods that we have of preserving the food while we're out here. Plus it adds a nice taste to the meat. So I'm going to just get this bark skinned off of here, as the bark on the trees is where 90% of the time you're going to get your bacteria from. If you take the time to just peel the bark off, then you avoid all that bacteria, which is nothing but good stuff for you. Excellent. So that's all we need there. You can see just the bark shaved off. This end I'm going to just whoop into a point and jabber into the ground. Using the cold steel Bushman for this camp. Also have the cold steel shovel out with me. No axe this time. The only axe that I have is my little CRKT everyday carry axe. I decided that was plenty good enough for this trip. Alright guys, so this is basically the meat and the potatoes of it. You got the body of your squirrel. Then I saved the choice pieces too. Here you have the heart, this piece here. You got a couple kidneys there and there, as well as down in the bottom here we have, I don't know if you guys can see that very well. There's the liver. The internal organs, we'll do them up with the puffballs. And the hide we got right here. That I'm going to put on to smoke. We always use them for different bits and pieces. If not for this camp, we'll use it at some point in time. There's no sense in wasting it. So I'm going to get the squirrel on the stick there and get him ready to start smoking away there. That's it. That's all there is to it. The internals, I'm just going to set in by the smoke here, close enough to keep the bugs away, far enough away to not start cooking. The idea is I just want the stuff to smolder away. I'm going to take the hide, set it up on top of the stick here to start smoking itself. Now we just sit there and leave that stuff. I'll throw some punkier material on that doesn't burn but just produces smoke to keep all the little creepy crawlers away. That's all it takes, my friends. Beautiful. Susie. Maybe she figures that squirrel done dug its way to China. We're gonna go do a quick round here and see maybe if we can't kick up a squirrel. You never know, there's no harm for the trying, right? I don't even know what to tell you. We've had quite the flurry of activity here. We went from, having an opportunity to get one and having it get away from us to now we've got 3. You've seen the earlier GoPro footage of getting one over that way. Now this guy kicked up. I believe this is the one that got away initially the first time. And yeah, so now we're sitting at 3. What a flurry of activity. So what we're gonna do is get these prepared up and ready to go, and we're gonna get them in the pot and just slow cooking over the fire for all night and into tomorrow, and they'll be ready to go for whenever we're hungry tomorrow around midday or later. Good stuff. Like, I mean, really, day one, you can't expect more than that. We got 3 squirrels, we got wild mushrooms, and we've been out here for half a day at very, very best. So we managed to get a pot hanger made. It's been a good day. I'm gonna go get these guys cleaned up and get them in the pot. So inside there, we've already got the livers, the kidneys, the hearts. Squirrel 1, squirrel 2. Actually, I guess that's 2 and 3. Yeah, good start to a good meal tomorrow. That's the Go Flow 10-liter water gravity bag with the Sawyer Mini. We've got an additional treat to throw in there with our soup. This is a bowlet mushroom. I found him earlier. Just gonna rip him up into chunks like this and toss him in, and he could boil away for a couple days with the rest of it, add some more flavor to it. Never had bowlet boiled, but I don't imagine it's going to be bad. Already, you can see we are off to an awesome start. Well, we've been lucky enough that we've worked ourselves into a little bit of time here, and I suggest that we utilize our time. Notice how I'm chopping right on the ground because I don't give up, and it's a shovel. Anyways, I was saying, we've worked ourselves into a bit of time, so we're going to utilize that time to build ourselves a little pot hanging system. So this one is a very simple system. Basically, you take your crotch stick like this. That you can use with your pole. Now I'm going to snake mine down through these trees like this to minimize the things that Izzy can trip on, or get tangled up in, I should say. So basically that's all I'm looking at is like that. Then we take one more crotch stick. We'll use our saw here. Sharpen the ends. Now we just have that. Now I heard a squirrel. I'm going to chamfer the end of this too, just so it doesn't mushroom as bad when I pound it in. But I'm pounding it in with my shovel, so I doubt that's going to happen, but whatever. We'll throw a chamfer on there anyways, just to be, a little more professional about it. Now for the record, I don't consider this bushcraft, so I don't offend anybody using tools that weren't made in the woods. I consider this utilizing what's around me to get to the means that I need to get to. So now I just take my stick and all I do is force it down into the ground. And all that does is if I get weight on the end, it just holds it down. You want to make sure it's pushed in pretty good, because if you get a heavy pot on there, there's leverage, right? Because of this, you've got a tip point, and if you get too much leverage out in front of it, it can cause your back crotch stick to pull out. So with that being dealt with now, that's awesome because we're a step ahead. I like to generally have a cup of tea of some sort right before I go to bed. I didn't bring any of the, fun stuff with me this time, so it's a strictly living off the land. No additional. The only thing I did bring was coffee for the morning. No sugar, no cream, no none of that. It's strictly off the land here. So yeah, good stuff. Now that we've dealt with supper for tomorrow, let's worry about getting supper for tonight done. It's been a hard day today, believe it or not. Lots of slugging around. Little things are worth their weight in gold. You don't use them often, but when you need them, man, they're a lifesaver. Or at least a facial hair saver, kind of the same thing. Generally, I slice these just thin like wafers. I don't have time tonight. I'm beat. I'm hungry. It's been a long day. I didn't cheat at all, as in I haven't ate all day. I know that I was only out here for about half a day, but I didn't eat breakfast. I didn't, you know, have lunch or anything before I come out. This is my first meal of the day because I want to try to make it as real of an experience as possible. Yeah. So here I am, chopping up my puffballs. These are the woodland puffballs, like I mentioned earlier. Not sure, to be honest, I don't remember if I filmed picking these. I believe these were harvested when I just had the GoPros and we tried that first initial hunt there with Izzy being tied up and going that way. So I don't remember if I took the time to try to film it with the GoPro, but I doubt it. It's really too bad. I miss where I used to always frequently go wild camping, and Izzy would go with me every single trip. That was why I got her, it was a friend when I was out in the woods. And you know, she would take off, but she'd always come back. She'd just go explore for a bit, you know, a squirrel, something that'd get her attention, and whew, gone. That's just huskies. That's the way they are. But here, the issue is she's close enough. If she goes a couple of quarters over, she can find her way into livestock. And that's not good, because people here are very unforgiving, and if she's in somebody's livestock, they're likely to shoot her. And that certainly is not something that we want to have happen. So just a bit of an explanation as to why, you know, she's tied up. I'm sure I'll get all the comments again about how I'm such a dink and this and that for having her tied up. But you know what? A tied up husky is better than a dead husky. And regardless, I like to have her out with me. It presents a whole different shape and set of challenges, but nothing that's, you know, absolutely horrible or anything like that. It's just another set of challenges that we go through, which isn't a big deal at all, really. I mean, it doesn't matter if your challenge is trying to get water or trying to find food, or, you know, you do the best that you can with it and try to find ways to beat it out. I mean, I found that squirrel pile and that mound and stuff that was really close to camp here, and she loves that stuff. Like, she'll sit in there and dig for hours and hours and hours. So it worked out very well that, you know, I got her over there and she got happy and liking it and started digging around. Then I'd sneak away and I would go for a round and hunt. And I mean, things really got chaotic here towards the end of the day. As you guys seen there, that, you know, we ended up with 3 squirrels now on the first day, which is absolutely amazing. That doesn't mean that we're going to be foolish and we're going to eat 3 squirrels tonight. But it means that the pressure's off for tomorrow. Unless, you know, some predator or something comes here and helps themselves to it in the meantime, we should be, you know, good to go. So we've got our little bit of, and I mean little bit, I didn't harvest very much of them. I found more, but again, take what you need, leave the rest. Because tomorrow I very well likely could need those and want to go back and get them. So I didn't harvest much, but I do got a little pan full here of mushrooms and of course the organs and stuff out of the first squirrel. So we are going to get the squirrel off the smoke and onto the fire. Actually, we've got all 3 hides are sitting on here smoking away now. We'll utilize them in some fashion. I don't know what yet, but for something. If we don't the kids craft all sorts of little goodies and stuff with them. There's a story to that. I'll tell you guys later, but right now, let's worry about getting some supper made. We're losing light and we're losing it fast. I don't know if you guys can quite tell that, but the sun is setting. It's behind the trees, so there's not much time and she'll be dark. Hurt. Kidney. If one is. Oh, sorry, honey. It's a good thing she's got a good nose. Here's our squirrel. Very, very good. Squirrel, contrary to what a lot of people think, is actually absolutely incredible. Some of my favorite of the wild meats. It's just unfortunate that really there's not much on there. Here are the coyotes kicking up. Well, guys, I know it's been short, but ooh, it's getting chilly out. Yeah, welcome to Canada, eh? Anyways, thanks for joining me for this opening day. Again, we're staying for 4 days, 3 nights. Wild camping, living off the land. As per your request, we're showcasing some new gear, and there's a lot of it this trip. There's the Grail water purification. There's the Go Flow with the Sawyer Mini there. That's a water filter. I've got the new titanium spork by, oh come on, Boundless Voyage, sorry. There's a lot of gear. We'll get to it in different days. What I want to do is break this up, that every day is a different video, so you guys don't come back on me about it being too long, because I like to film. I like to have good content, and we'll see how it pans out anyways. So welcome to the night of the first day. This is going to be it. Nighttime is going to be my time while I film these videos, so this is going to be a wrap for the night. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Now I gotta ask you, hit the like button, subscribe, change that bell to all notifications, and share the heck out of this. Spread the word, guys. I appreciate everybody who's been with us so far, and I appreciate all your input. Till tomorrow, stay outdoors. Oh, hey. We should get up and make ourselves some coffee here now. Days wasting. So this is a little gimmick, if you want to call it that I picked up a little while ago. My wife actually got it for me. All it is a little collapsible dish. You pull it up. It's got a couple holes in the bottom there. You take that in your cup, you set her on top of there. You have your coffee filter inside here and fill it full of coffee, and then you dump your hot water in there and it'll steep through that and into your cup. It's actually really cool. I really like it. It's made of the food grade silicone, so it works really well. That's some good coffee. So this is day 2. We were lucky enough to work ourselves into an excellent position yesterday. If you didn't catch episode number 1 of this 4-day, 3-night trip, make sure you go back and take a look at that before watching this one. We had a great day, a great first day. So a quick little recap. We ended up getting ourselves 3 squirrels. Some woodland puffballs. So for our first meal, we had 1 squirrel and woodland puffballs. And the remaining 2 squirrels we got in the pot over here, just simmering away in there, as well as a bowlet mushroom. Now I've discovered other mushrooms and stuff throughout the day yesterday hunting and looking around, so it's I didn't pick them because it's better to leave them grow and I know where that food source is. If I want it, I go and pick it. I will likely go grab a couple more bowlet mushrooms to throw in with the stew here. Just adds a little more substance to it. I'd like to perhaps, though it's kind of low on the agenda list, find some wild edibles just to throw in there with it. Some more maybe vegetable type stuff. I don't know if I'll make it candy cattails or anything, but them are really good to throw in a stew like that too. They almost make like a noodle kind of thing when they're boiled. But other things on the agenda, because we worked so hard yesterday and ended up getting ourselves into a position where we don't got to worry about food now. A couple things that we do have to work on. But to take care of our needs, we need more water. Yesterday, we darn near went through all 10 liters in our Go Flow filter bag. So that's quite a bit of water consumption in one day for, you know, one guy and his pups. So, but at the same time, it was pretty warm yesterday. Today's pretty overcast and dismal. The bigger issue with it being overcast and dismal is that's going to make it hard for me to charge up my batteries for, you know, the GoPro and my main camera and even my phone. I cycle in between them all when I film so that I always have charged batteries. But when it's this overcast, my solar charging equipment isn't going to be able to do what I need it to do. So that part's kind of a bit of a downer. But other things on the agenda, I'd like to make craft a table over by where we have the Go Flow water system there, just so we can you know, have a more organized area to lay out some of our cooking equipment, stuff like that. I could get set up there, and it just makes it a lot more organized. And we worked ourselves into the position to have time to do it, so a guy might as well, you know, utilize that time and do some more creative stuff. As you guys voted, so this trip has been fan voted. So I put up a poll on our page and asked you guys what you wanted for content. and you chose all of the above. So that means that you wanted gear reviews, you wanted wild camping, and you wanted living off the land, and you wanted skill videos all combined, mixed throughout the video. So that's what we're doing. We're out here for our 4-day, 3-night trip, doing exactly that to give you guys what you want. And yeah, we're really looking forward to it. It's gonna be some good stuff. So stick around. Once we're done our morning coffee here, we've got to make water rounds at some point. It's pretty overcast, so water's not a huge priority right now, but it may be once we get working. So either way, we got to get water, and we've got to get started on this table over here and get this done up so that we can have a place to organize all our equipment.
Holy crikey, right over there I heard the biggest squirrel. We gotta go get him. We should be drinking coffee, but opportunity's there. Let's go.
We got to go back and finish our coffee. We keep getting disrupted by, simple things like priorities. So we didn't plan on having a big hunt today, but, the opportunity's there. You have got to take it. And we are very close to camp. So this guy definitely was worthwhile going after.
Coffee.
It's not pretty, but it'll do the trick for this short little venture. I have another little bit of coffee, seeing as how mine was rudely disrupted this morning. I know you guys have all seen this trick before, but I want to finish getting things organized. So I'm going to hang my gear pack up. So basically to do this, I just got a bow line on one end. Just pull your cord through the bow line. Now as we come down here, I might have it a bit too high. As we come down to this end, all I want to do is make a marlin spike hitch. So once I have that made, take my stick, slide it through the toggle till roughly center. Now that makes an effective T-handle. I can at that point grab my pack and just set it on there like that. Works very, very well. Man, I'm feeling really accomplished already. It's nice when you get a big head start like we got yesterday with food taken care of, plus a freebie again this morning. So yeah, I mean, like honestly, a guy can't complain about that. I think I gotta make a water run here. I'm out of water everywhere but Izzy's dish, which is good to know she's taken care of, right? But with the stew just sitting on the fire simmering away there all day, a guy wants to make sure it doesn't run dry. So it's pretty important that I go get some water here. I think that's going to be the next venture, and then maybe do a good thorough scout around. You never know what else I could find. It would be nice to supplement some other kind of protein other than just squirrel for these 4 days. I would really rather not do that, but I mean, if I have to, I have to. It wouldn't be the first time, right? It's just that squirrel is an extremely lean meat, so if you're talking prolonged survival, that is not gonna do it for you. You gotta find something better, something with more fat, something like, don't get me wrong, it's better than nothing, but you need some of that fatty stuff. I thought about going fishing, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna head down, get some water, check my traps as I go. Let's see how it pans out. So this is a bit of a game changer now. We've had one on the fire smoking all morning. What I'm going to do is skin this guy, take the one that's been smoking all morning, throw him in the pot. He's already going to be 90% cooked, and it'll add a real nice smoky flavor to what we got going on there. And then wait patiently for this guy to finish and eat him. That's right, guys, this is what we've come to. I'm sitting here mending my pants. Why? Taking care of your kit is a very important part of survival. You get a big hole in it like I got here where my everyday carry is for my saw. I can't expect my saw to be there for much longer. But if I poke myself, I'm going to scream like a little girl. I'm not even going to lie. Don't expect anything fancy. Just expect it to work. Well guys, I was out here chasing a squirrel around earlier this morning. You'll see footage of that on the GoPro. I really hope that GoPro footage has been panning out, because almost every critter we've tried to harvest has been filmed solely with the GoPro. I think I got a couple like body shots or whatever of me trying to go after some of them, but in terms of actually getting footage of me shooting them, I don't think I've got any on anything other than the GoPro. So I mean, that's going to be a pretty important piece of footage there. I'm trying to remember where I seen this bullet mushroom at. It was right close here somewhere. Now I remember. But yeah, I hope that footage pans out, or else I'm gonna be hurting for some proof of said critters harvested here. So here we are. So this one, you can see he's too far gone. He's pretty rotten, he's slimy, he's full of bugs. Probably not one that we'd want. You can see how really discolored the cap is. He's really mushy. This guy's too far gone. That's too bad. There's also this guy right here. He looks to be in better shape. You can see the color of the cap is more what we're looking for. The bugs kind of got into him a little bit on this side, but we can cut that off and clean that up. After all, we're living off the land, right? We can't be too overly picky. So I'd say I'd just cut this part off here, clean this up, harvest half of it, and call her a day. The stems you don't want to put in there. You just want the cap. When you push it, depending what color a bruise is, it'll help you determine what kind of bullet this is. If the bruises turn brown, like I can already see here, something had hit it, this will be a king bullet mushroom. Anyways, really good. It's pretty hard to go wrong with this breed of mushroom. Even the ones that are considered not edible aren't poisonous. They're just taste kind of bitter. So you could do a taste test with most mushrooms. Tastes fine to me. Not bitter or anything of the sort. Again, even with a poisonous mushroom, not trying to get the wrong idea into people's head, but this is a big misconception I see online. People think that if you taste it and you spit it all out, that you're still going to somehow miraculously be poisoned, or if you touch it. That is not the case. I mean, I've seen mushroom hunters do both and they're fine, but I mean, obviously don't chew it and swallow it. But I mean, if you just give it a little taste, a small little piece, you're not gonna die. Well, whenever we get around to having that stew there, or I guess it'd be more of a soup, but whenever we get around to having that, that's gonna be darn good. We got a lot of goodies mixed up in there now. But, yeah, added the extra bullet mushroom to it again. So we've got a couple of those. We've got 3 squirrels. One of them was smoked for a really long time. I'm just waiting for this guy to kind of catch up now, because I'm not going to lie, I'm getting pretty hungry at this point. I've exhausted quite a bit of energy with getting the water, checking the traps, cutting firewood, building the table. I only ate a squirrel last night and a few mushrooms, so I mean, I'm pretty hungry at this point, and it's already 2:41, so I'd like to have this guy soon. I'll leave the soup stew simmering away for the rest of the day. The first 2 squirrels that were on there all the last night and today, they're falling right off the bones already, so they're going to be absolutely delicious. But basically the holdup at this point is waiting for the one that that we threw in there that was smoked this morning. But I really wanted that because the smoked flavor will add a lot more flavor to it than just, you know, boiling a couple squirrels and some mushrooms. I'd like to go for a walk, try to find some more wild edibles to chuck in there. I'm not sure even what yet at this point in time. I've just been so busy I haven't even put any thought into how I can make that better. But it would be nice if I found something. I set some plantain out to dry yesterday. I don't think I got that on film. I might just crush that up and throw it in there as something to add a little thickener and a little bit of substance. Plantain is edible. I mean, I'm not sure how good it's going to be in that application, but it definitely help thicken it, and don't think it'll do much for flavor, but to thicken it, it'll definitely help. All right, time to relax for a bit. Well, that's pretty warm. We'll just give him a few seconds to cool off. I'm pretty hungry at this point. I could eat a squirrel. He's warm. Well, very warm. It's so good though. One thing I know you guys are going to find absolutely disgusting, but keep in mind I'm out here myself. Even the bones, when you're eating them this way, your bones should go back into the pot for your soup as it boils, and it'll help make a richer broth. Plus any little bits that you don't get will end up going back into the pot, and you know, it'll eventually fall off the bones the longer it boils away like that. I've never had squirrel like this before, so I hope it turns out. But I wanted to show the concept of how you should be doing it. When you boil it, you waste nothing, and you get everything possible out of that animal. By rights, you should be going even more hardcore than I am, and you should be boiling the head and everything right with the animal, the eyes, all that stuff. I think I waited a bit too long today before I had this guy. But my plan to switch out when I shot that new one to add some smoke flavor to the pot. That might have been you know, a more detrimental idea. It definitely slowed down the process in between when I could eat again. So I hope this series is all that you guys hoped it would be. I mean, watching me sit here and eat a squirrel. All right. So basically, this goes back into the pot. You can see there's lots of meat and flesh there that I can't just pick off. So back into the pot, and that'll boil off. Add to the soup. It's amazing though, even after just eating this little bit that I have already, it's I feel a lot more like my energy's returning. This piece I had to go ahead and drop on the ground, so now I get to clean it before I can eat it. Good stuff though, really. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think I'd want to eat it for every meal, but to be honest, I've done almost back-to-back camps. I think I had a day off in between. The first one was just an overnight with the Lavu. And then I had a day at home before I ended up coming back straight out here again for this one. Smells all right. Wow. Well, guys, I jumped into the hammock for a little bit. Just air my feet out. You can see how they're getting really red around the knuckles and the toes, and at the heel here, you can see how it's all, they're wet. They're very, very wet. Now, I made the decision when I come here that I thought if I wore rubber boots, my feet would be nice and dry regardless of rain or anything like that. You know, it would let my feet be dry. But it turns out it's quite the opposite. Because I've been wearing rubber boots and the weather has been so fair, it's been really warm, and with all the miles that I'm putting on, basically my feet are swimming in their own sweat since I got here. So the muck boots that I'm wearing are just wet inside, really, really wet. My socks are soaked. At nighttime, my feet don't get enough of a chance to recover because they go straight into the sleeping bag, right? I've said it's been cool. You could see last night when I filmed the night scene right before bed there that my feet were that the weather was very cold. So naturally I get ready for bed and I jump right in the sleeping bag, conserve my heat, that kind of stuff. But that's kind of adding a little bit of an issue because my feet are not getting the opportunity to air out. They don't air out like they should when they're in the sleeping bag. So now here I sit. I don't imagine it'll take much more than 20 minutes or so, but without your feet, you're not going to last in this game. Your feet are very important. You got to take care of them before it's a big problem. You don't want to end up that you get, laid up for a couple days sort of a deal. But take a little bit of time and, you'll be thankful for it later when you can still move around. Stu is still giving her. It's starting to rain now, so I'm going to recede under the tarp for a bit. I've just finished moving all the gear in. Not sure if you guys can hear it or not, the rain on the tarp. Started to kick up now. I'm not sure how long the shower will last, but I'm sitting in good enough shape. There's no point getting wet, to be 100% honest with you. I'm just going to sit under the tarp and ride it out. It's that simple. When you're lucky enough to get yourself into the position, you got lots of food and you got water, you got shelter, fire's going, it's going to take a downpour to put that sucker out. I mean, shy of moving my firewood underneath here, which I'm going to zip out and do right away. Probably not all of it, just some of it. Yeah. There's no point getting wet. We'll stay under here where it's dry. There's an awful lot of racket coming out of here somewhere. It's almost enough to pique my curiosity and go over there and see what it is. Almost. But, still raining. Smartest thing for me to do is keep dry. Though I must say, if that noise keeps up, I'm going to have to go see what it is. Well, the rain started kicking up again. So I come back to camp. I took off and I went and harvested some dandelion root and added that to the stove. I got out there, I turned the camera on, started harvesting, looked over and the camera was off. The battery had died, so I'm not sure how much of that I even got. And the mosquitoes picked up bad. The smoke's still going over there, but that's not deterring them over this way as the smoke's blowing the opposite direction. Yeah, so harvested the dandelion root, added that to this stew. I've looked everywhere to try to find like wild garlic or wild onion, something similar, wild horseradish. I can't find anything like that here. And I've put on a lot of miles. Why, you ask? Well, I've been trying to find a porcupine, something other than a squirrel to have here for the last day. I mean, in all honesty, with the soup stew deal I got going on now, I don't need to harvest anymore. Only if I can find something different would I attempt it. A porcupine would be great. Excellent survival food. I put on tons of miles. The only thing I filmed out of that was footage via the GoPro head cam. I just stuck her to my head and away I went. So hopefully that footage turned out good and you guys can see that. Yeah, other than that, there's really nothing to report. It's rained. I sat here, went out, did the dandelions, and went out, tried to find something other than squirrel. Kicked up a few more squirrels, but just wasn't worth trying to harvest them. It's amazing some of the different places you go. You can't even see over the grass. It's just up over your head. It's absolutely crazy. on the edge of the cut block here. Just see how deep that is. The camera's at the height of my eyes right now, perfectly flush. Just to give you the perspective with me standing here, look how tall it is. You can just disappear in it. It's absolutely crazy. Spoils of the cut block. Well, how cool is this baby? Found that out in the cut block. That's an excellent addition to this little camp. Everybody likes to have a processing block. Well, here's a good one. Good for everything from chopping up firewood to, you know, processing your squirrels and such. Man, I hope we find more than squirrels. Be nice if this rain quit too. Well guys, we're gonna give the soup stew one last good boil, and then we're gonna get to eating. This rain just won't quit. The bugs are coming out heavy. I don't want to get soaking wet, so I think my plan is to eat a little bit earlier. I'm not gonna lie, like it's only 5:51 right now, but I'm hungry. I only ate that one squirrel today. You know, I added a bunch of stuff to the soup though. Like I put cattails, dandelion roots, that dried up plantain. I put that into like a powder and put that in there, hoping it's gonna thicken it a bit. You know what I mean? It's like water, was like water. So I'm going to give it one good burn here, and then I'm going to scoop some out of there, and we're going to eat. Let's hope it's good. We gotta get a variety going if all we're going to be eating is squirrel. Like, I mean, I put in a massive effort today, walking around, stumbling around, trying to find a porcupine or something, and I seen a deer, and I seen squirrel, and that's it. Can't harvest deer right now. It wouldn't be ethical or legal. I wouldn't have the equipment to do it even if I could. I mean, all I've got out here is the Henry U.S. survival rifle, and I'm not saying that you can't kill a deer with the 22. I'm saying you shouldn't. It's illegal. I'm not saying the caliber can't do it if you hit it in the right spot. I'm saying that you can't do it. It's illegal to do it. So yeah, give this a good flash burn here, and then I'm going to eat, and I honestly think I might just turn in for the night. We had a pretty good day. I think it was a good episode. You know, lots of camp improvements today because we set ourselves up yesterday. It was such a good day. But we got, what, 3 squirrels today? That's same as yesterday, you know, so or maybe we got 4 yesterday. I don't even remember. Watch episode 1. So it's been good. Like, I mean, there's no shortage of food. I gotta mix in a little bit more wild edibles though, but I'll be honest, I've just been lazy. Like, even digging up the dandelion roots was, well, that part wasn't hard, but the cleaning them sucks. It's just time, right? I've got a little bit lazy with it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed episode 2. We made the table. We got an awesome wood processing block. Still got a couple squirrels today. Like, I mean, it was a good day. There was some improvements. I'm not sure what I got on the slate for tomorrow, but, you know, make sure you catch that episode 2. It'll be something good. Maybe that's what I'll do tonight. Eat some supper and lay in the hammock and think about what to do tomorrow. Especially if it's raining. Alright guys, I don't know if you can see this. Let me tilt you down. So that's it. Doesn't look like the most edible, or looks edible. It doesn't necessarily look that delicious, but let's give her a go. The broth is good. Can't complain about that. Let's try some, dang mosquitoes. Let's try some squirrel here. Very tender. Bowlet mushroom. It really brings out a, I don't even know what quite to call that taste. That's quite good though. I'm gonna have to boil them more. The plantain like disappeared and there are the little powder pieces. Some squirrel rib cage there. Guys, that's good. Oh, we got a delicacy here. We got the heart. That broth is so good. Turned out really well. I'm very, very happy with that. Rain's still coming down hard. Alright guys, that's it. Thank you for joining us for episode 2, the second day of the living off the land, wild camping / showing off gear review / skills video. You voted for it, here it is. There's more gear review to come. We got some more new products to show you guys. That'll probably happen tomorrow. Till next time, keep outdoors.
What's that you're saying there, Sonny? You want to live off the land with me, do yez? Maybe next time.
Alright, so today we are going to be taking a look at Lixandia's cooking set. This is another new piece of gear that we brought out for this trip. We're really looking forward to using it. I really want some coffee. So this is everything that the set comes with. We'll start with the non-cooking related stuff first. So it comes with a carabiner. It's a locking screw type. These are pretty cool. I've got a few of them already. Comes with a soup ladle. That could come in handy, hey? You got your basic cutlery set, your fork and your spoon, knife. They all fold together. If you just squish it, flip it down, squish it, flip it down. You got your little cleaning sponge. a spatula, 3 of these bowls. They're quite small bowls, but hey, any container is better than no container, right? You've got your pot here. You've got the rulered measurements there on the side, as well as the cup or smaller pot. They actually snap together quite nice, so I'm happy with that. And you have your Lixandia twig burning stove here. Gonna be honest, this doesn't feel like the most durable twig burner that I've ever used in my life, but I'm sure it gets the job done. We're going to fire it up here and give it a whirl. Make ourselves some coffee with this set this morning. Well, I don't know. Seems to work like a twig burner. Probably not the best one I've ever used, but it's not the worst either. I think it does very well. It's kind of nice that it's got the big open spot there where you can feed additional fuel in without having to remove the pot from the top. Yeah. Seems like a decent little unit. Like the pot setup. Perfect. That was a very long and cold night. So I did go to bed super early, which was great for my feet because they were in pretty rough shape. They're still really sore and tender today. I got to really watch as I'm going to be running on the verge of blisters, which is not good. But I changed out and put on dry socks and stuff last night. Before I went to bed there, I let them air for probably an hour and a half there until things started to drop down the temperature, but because I went to bed early, I was able to do that. Yeah, so the feet are in really rough shape for today, day 3. We took a look at the Lixandia gas or twig burning stove. Well, basically the full pot pan setup there. I'm actually think it's quite good. That ladle would have sure come in handy for, scooping out our soup there yesterday, but pouring it works just as good too. Pretty hungry already. I'm gonna have a bit of breakfast here. I think not much because I don't have that much, and I didn't procure anything yet this morning. So this is day 3. I'm really hoping to get something different than squirrel. But, time's gonna tell what exactly a feller gets out of this, and you can't be picky when you're out here living off the land. You gotta take whatever comes to you. I know I keep saying, well, I don't want to just eat squirrel. I don't want to just eat squirrel. I mean, watching season 6, I believe it is, of Alone, those guys are more than happy to be eating a squirrel every day. Grats to Buddy who got the moose, so that's solid stuff. So chores for today, I think I would like to maybe have a poke around, see if I can't find any rocks anywhere. There's a big cut block here. It should be easy to walk through and look for stuff. I'm going to take a peek, see if I can't find any rocks. If I could find a pile of rocks somewhere, and it's very likely. It is farm country out here, so it's very likely find a big pile of rocks, bring them over, stack them up around the fire pit, shore it up a little bit better. I'd really like to find more. Oh, speaking of food, I think I just seen a squirrel running over there. Izzy's over there. I don't know why she didn't go get that squirrel. I better grab the gun. So we're down to half rations today, or at least for this morning. Why, you ask? Because I choose to share with my puppy. That's why. Ladle works great. The rationing bowls work great. I'm leaving Izzy's cool off for a bit. I think I showed you guys my titanium spork already, but here it is again. I really like this one. Boundless Voyage is the make of it. The cattails add a unique difference to this too. Breakfast of champions right here.
But the bones, the bones.
You don't get used to the bones. That's the way to do it. Smoke them first, then chuck them in the pot. Like, man, it adds a whole new flavor to it. Ooh, there's a little pale kidney there. It's all food, boys. I miss the kind Mom used to make, you know, that didn't have the bones. Especially them damn rib bones, man. Want to see the cool thing? Get myself an automatic dishwasher here. It's gonna be warm, okay? It's gonna be warm. This is what it's like when you bring your buddies out. You gotta make sure you feed them too. I'm gonna be regretting this, but at the same time, them nasty rib cages. Well, she don't seem to give a crap about the rib cages. Well guys, this is a big mistake. This is what happens when you do the knot or the noose around the tree too tight, that it can't rotate underneath to effectively hang the squirrel. So instead what had happened is he was able to push and push and push and push till eventually he slipped his way out of here. Which is actually, it amazes me that he was able to do it. You can see some of his fur got left in there. There's a bit of blood on there, unfortunately. I don't like hurting stuff without harvesting it, but yeah, big mistake on my part. This was survival. This is extremely detrimental. Here's a couple more bowlet mushrooms for the stew pot. The bugs just mean extra protein. I'm gonna have a good look around here, see if I find any more. Hopefully we get something else today. Not that the soup is bad, but I've had squirrel for a numerous amount of days here now. It'd be nice to have a change up, not just this camp, but the one I did previously. But that's the way it goes. If that's all I see moving around, that's all I see moving around. getting us through. Well, so I've elected to spend some time down by the water here. I want to meander around, hopefully not break my neck on any of this, and see. There was beaver here at one point in time, which means there could be muskrat. Now if there is muskrat, I might have the opportunity to get one. Change it up from squirrel a little bit. But it is very treacherous walking here. It's hard for me to see exactly where is solid and where isn't. And these mosquitoes, they just never leave me alone. So yeah, that's the plan for the time being. If I break my neck, you'll know why. The grass is so tall here, it's quite tricky, to be 100% honest with you, to see where holes are. Doesn't look like any luck here. Now this might not seem like much, but you gotta keep in mind, I haven't had any sugars since I come out here. Oh, plus it's nice to have something that isn't squirrel. So I'm gonna harvest a bunch more of these and eat them. And then we'll carry on our way. I'm gonna switch out to the head mount here on the GoPro. Go for a stumble down along the creek here, see what I can find. Hopefully something. So close. 2, 3 rocks shy. Oh well. Grab some more later. You guys want to know how I keep my camera equipment and all my goodies charged? This is how. The Aki solar charger works very well. We use this guy a lot, perfect for these kind of camps like this, so long as you got enough sun to make it feasible. Anyways, yesterday was a really crappy charging day, but we got sun again today. Let's get everything topped up and ready to go. Takes a while to get some water, but I mean, it does its job, and it's clean, right? Not purified, but it's filtered. Just absolutely awesome for a camp like that. Like this, I am so impressed with this product. Well, put a lot of miles on again today. I'm starting to feel the hunger again after, I generally don't eat breakfast, so that helped hang me over quite a bit actually, to be honest with you, and give me a good boost of energy. I woke up this morning, I did not sleep good at all last night. I mean, I froze half the night. I'm gonna have to make sure I put more layers on tonight. And yeah, put more layers on. I decided to eat breakfast. I woke up, I had a headache, I wasn't feeling good. I think I was a bit dehydrated. I didn't drink much yesterday. It was, a cool, dismal, rainy day. I didn't think that I'd need to, but I mean, I woke up, large muscle groups were hurting, and yeah, I drank a bunch of water, and I feel a lot better now. A lot of walking today. We expended a lot of energy again. If this was a show like Alone, I would be kicked off in no time, because I'm just using a lot of energy compared to what I'm putting in. Well guys, looks like we got some foul weather moving in here. You can see over the tree line there. I can hear the rumblings of thunder. This promises to be an interesting night. You gotta love the camps with adverse conditions. decided I better get camp cleaned up here in preparation for the storm that is most certainly going to happen. Get what I can under the tarp and kind of half cleaned up here before that happens. That's going to be a doozy. Well, the temperature just dropped a lot. It's gonna come in hard now. I think I'm gonna be proactive and I'm gonna drop the V on the tarp right away. Spring it straight down to the ground here. Get it pegged down good. This isn't gonna be a fun time. So here's a bit of a trick for you guys. Most of you who do any amount of camping should know this already, but every day make sure that you open your sleeping bag right up, let it air out good. Otherwise the condensation will keep collecting and you will freeze. Awaiting the inevitable at this point. It's coming. It's gonna hit us like a truck. It's gonna be a good one, boys. Hold on to your hats. Just restocked the fire for the storm. The wind's starting to pick up now. I'm gonna drop the top of the tarp, pin it down. Be one heck of a storm. We got Izzy under here. I'm gonna just attempt to get my stuff organized because I think this one's gonna be a ride it out for a while storm. Well, how's this for entertainment? Sitting under a tarp, trying not to get wet. I was cold enough last night without being, wet tonight, so it's pretty important to stay dry. And I don't know, just sit here and ride this out. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but hopefully not long. Well, I think the worst of it is over. Was a good shot of rain there. But I think the most of it is past. I'm going to string the tarp back up again. The winds are gone, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to grab a toggle, seeing as I can't find the one that I did have here. Well, that'd sure be better than a squirrel. See? Aren't you glad your face isn't down there?
And we're back to sunshine. Welcome to Canada. So, after that freak rainstorm, everything come to life. You see the deer there, the birds are running around everywhere. Surprise, so are the squirrels. So we got this guy, I got footage of him on the GoPro. It's not very clean after I shot him to when I retrieved him. That's because Izzy was with me and Izzy grabbed the squirrel. The GoPro's on the gun, I didn't want to be pointing the gun at my dog. It's that simple. So I had to get to her, kind of push her out of the way before I filmed the squirrel. So I'll probably just edit the rest of that out in between. You'll see the shot and then I'll just skip to where I show you the squirrel. But yeah, might as well. I think I'll just throw this guy right on the coals. I won't bother throwing him in with the stew, it'll be too late, I'm hungry. So I'm probably going to throw this guy on to just start smoking away there and then have myself some soup. Well guys, it's the night of the third day. So this is our final night out in the wilderness. With that comes responsibilities. We've got a lot of snares set up. We don't need anything at this point. If there's not something hanging in them now, we don't need to hope for anything past this point. So what we're going to do is go deactivate all the snares, and by that I mean we'll roll them under the tree. This is a spot that we'll likely frequent and use these traps often, so we're going to not take them fully down. We're going to deactivate them so that they're here for easy setup the next time we choose to use them. Well, we went and disarmed the snares. Thought it had to be done. Found some goodies along the way. You all know how I like these. I found one in my Polish Lavu camp. You throw it on the fire, burn the bacteria off, and use it much like you would a plate, a cutting board, a platter, anything like that. So yeah, one big thing done with the traps getting disarmed, and obviously found some goodies, which is pretty cool too. I found a couple more rocks. I'd like to have brought them back, but I had the tripod. I had this hip bone or shoulder bone. I had Izzy, the gun. So yeah, there was plenty of stuff to carry. It kept me good and occupied. But might see tomorrow before I go. I'd really like to finish that fire pit off, have it a perfectly enclosed ring, so next time I come out I don't have to worry like I did with this time. I kind of like this spot, and you know, I think I'm going to make this a semi-permanent place where I just add to it little by little when I come out, and before you know it, it'll be a pretty cool little camp back here. Guess what time it is? It's relaxing time. Can you even see me through all that sun glare? Wow! Wow! Yeah, I can't even see myself. Well, I must say, I think it's time for a wee bit of a snack. Ooh, it's hot. Very hot. Getting some sick of squirrel. Oh, I forgot about my partner over there. Well, I decided to change the title of this series from Living Off the Land to Living Off the Squirrel. Or we could call it like 1,001 Bones. That's kind of a catchy title, isn't it? Day of the Rib. I hate rib bones. I got impatient with this one. And now it's chewy. That's what happens when you get impatient and you try to cook them too quick. You can tell I share everything with Izzy. She sees me with food and automatically thinks, why aren't I eating? It's got meaty back legs, this one. Alright, alright. Good stuff. So I got our stew here. I'm gonna fill up on this tonight for supper. Ooh, the liver. Ooh, some friggin' hot liver. Here's one of the bolete mushrooms I put in today. You can see he stayed a lot yellower. He didn't boil like as long as the others. Almost got like a peppery taste to him. Chunk of cat tail and squirrel, and of course bones. Can't have squirrel without the bones. This is truly good though, guys. Like, not trying to bring it up or anything like that. Very, very good. There's a leg bone. Ow, a hot one. This is what's left of a rib cage. These little rib bones have been my nemesis since I started this little soup. The other bolete mushrooms are just about black now. Maybe that's from the plantain I put in there. Maybe it leached to kind of a green blacky color. See what I mean? My nemesis. Ooh, a kidney. Chunk of a liver. Part of, I don't know, dandelion or cattail. That broth is something good. Anyways, I'm sure you guys are sick of seeing me eat, so I'll come back when I'm done. Well, it's the last time I'll watch the sunset in this particular camp. It's been a lot of fun, guys. I think it was a successful trip. I'm really happy with it. I mean, would have been nice if I could have ate something other than squirrel for, 4 days, but here we go. I finished off the pot here tonight of my soup, so tomorrow it's, packing up and getting out of here. But I want to thank you guys for joining me on this trip. I really like these style of camps. They are very unique. I like trying to work with the land and live off the land and just in general do my best to stay out here as long as possible. Now, like everybody else, you have the real world, you have a job. So I mean, you can only stay so long before you gotta go back to that sucker. And I mean, we all got families and lives outside of YouTube, and obviously that's very important stuff. Nothing is more important than your family, and you got to remember that. But anyways, thank you guys for joining me on this trip. I do appreciate it. Till next time, keep outdoors. Morning, guys. You hear the train whistle blowing off in the background. And the train's about 2.5 miles away from this particular location due north. Wow, what a trip. It was pretty cold last night. Like, very cold. I snuggled up best I could with all my layers and stuff, but it was doable, but it was chilly for sure. I don't think a guy'd want to be, hammock camping much cooler here, breaking into our fall without using an underquilt. I don't have one on my hammock. I should pick one up just because that makes all the difference in situations like this. But it was still good to get out and do it, right? I haven't been able to go on very many hammock camps this year. So recapping the series, day 1 was great. We got off to a good start, We got some supper there the first night with the puffball mushrooms and one squirrel that we cooked, just smoked it and then cooked it over the fire. Plus we had another 2 to throw in a pot to start a soup for the next day, for day 2. Now day 2 rolled around, we did a lot of work around camp. And day 1 was a lot more rushed. It was just take care of the priorities, and that was kind of it. Day 2 we worked ourselves into the position where we could have a little bit of fun with it. And fun we had. I mean, day 2 we happened to snag a couple more squirrels, so that went well too. And we added to the pot, some smoked flavored ones and so on and so forth. Plus had a few one did just eat. As well as we got really ambitious on day 2. We built the table. We got this big chopping block we dug from way out of the block there. That wasn't easy, but hey, it's a fantastic piece of kit right here. And you know, firewood, stuff like that. Firewood's been really easy here. I don't know if you guys have noticed that or not. Most outdoor videos got 16 hours of processing firewood and, you know, 3 minutes of doing anything else. I don't have to do that in this particular location because we're on the edge of the cut block, and it literally requires a walk and picking up pieces anywhere from this big to this big, you know, dragging them back to camp and they're good to go. So I mean, that part is super easy, super, you know, you couldn't really ask for more. Day 3, so day 2 is really the night 2, I guess you could call it. It's where I really noticed I was getting tired. I wasn't sleeping very well. Because I wasn't sleeping good, it greatly affects your energy and basically everything else, right? So day 1 was good. The first night I slept pretty good, but not great. It was quite cool. Same with night 2 and last night. The nights were cold and they sucked a lot of energy from me. But it was, we got by, you know what I mean? So we moved on to day 3. Day 3, again, we see more hunting action. A lot of miles. Like, we put on a lot of miles walking around yesterday. Or, you know, day 2 and day 3. Day 3, I really put in an effort to try to find some other source of protein. Day 2, it started. I started to look. My feet started to get bad in day 2. Day 3, they're manageable, but they were still sore, right? I trudged all over, tried to find, you know, anything from aquatic protein such as muskrats and stuff to porcupine. I think we found a few berries, but nothing really substantial, you know. Sometimes that's the way that it goes, though, depending on the area you're in. I mean, if it was the time of year we could harvest deer, we'd have it set, or at least another opportunity for game to go after. So we've seen deer a couple times on this trip. Both were very doable shots, but it just sometimes that's what happens. That's the way that it goes. It's not always glamorous or you know, full of adventure. Sometimes it's just getting by. Let me know down in the comments, what should have I done differently? What else would you like to see? What would have you changed? How would you like to see it to make these kind of videos better? Leave those down in the comment section. Leave any comment. I really appreciate all the support you guys give. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Well, that's it, guys. We're cleaned up and we're ready to go. At least until next time. Thank you guys for joining me here on this trip. I got a couple items left to throw in my person and then get out of here. I'd like to thank you for joining us. It's been an awesome trip. I really look forward to your input and suggestions. Till next time, keep outdoors.